You came into this physical environment with eagerness and certainty and confidence in who you are. You came knowing that you were a part of a greater whole and knowing that you were a valid and important part of a greater whole. And in that knowing, there was no sense of insecurity and there was no sense of competition. You had no sense of worry when you were born into this physical experience. You just came as source energy, so thrilled with the physical body into which a part of you would be focused, knowing that that physical you, that little being, that little body housing this larger being would explore and expand and really enjoy your experience. Once you got here, you began interacting with those who had been here a while. And many of them had forgotten all of those things because they had, without meaning to and really without wanting to, trained themselves away from the frequency that is really who you are. And so instead of confidence, some of them feel insecure. And instead of full of love, some of them feel anger and hate. And instead of understanding your value, some of them saw you as little and unknowing and in need of guidance. And many of them guided you from their place of insecurity. And in doing so, you learned that because whatever you give your attention to is a vibration that has the potential, really the very easy potential, of becoming a pattern of thought. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And so there is a momentum in the thoughts that you are focused upon, in the experiences that you are focused upon, because law of attraction, this powerful law that manages everything that is in your physical world and beyond, everywhere. Law of attraction amplifies whatever vibration you have within your focus. It's really a wonderful thing when you understand it and when you are able to let law of attraction be what it is and you guide your focus understanding what it is. It would be like being at the top of one of those fantastic hills in San Francisco. Esther was shocked the first time she saw one that people were actually driving up and down them. But it would be like being at the top of one of those hills and forgetting about the law of gravity and the law of inertia and just deciding that you would free your parking brake and take your car out of gear and just give your car a nudge just to see what happens. Because you have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen. Because you understand this law that is always consistent. It doesn't sometimes happen and sometimes not. Oh yeah, the other day I pushed my car down the hill and it went just a little way and it stopped. It defied all logic. You never see that because the law of gravity is such a consistent law that you've learned to work within it. You just don't do dumb things. Usually. And law of attraction, while it's a much bigger law and while it affects you in many more ways than the law of gravity, it is consistent. And what you give your attention to is vibrating. And as you give your attention to it, you begin to practice that vibration until you can get a momentum going. 17 seconds is enough for momentum. Another 17 more momentum, another 17 seconds more momentum. You cross the 68-second mark, and you've got enough momentum that your experience is now going to be affected in a way that is noticeable by those of you who are aware of the power of law of attraction and who are conscious of the thoughts that you are offering. So when we began visiting with you some years ago through this format, we talked to you a lot about the law of attraction, wrote a book about the law of attraction and its effect on your thoughts and the subsequent results that you are experiencing as a result of the thoughts that you are thinking and the words that you are speaking. And in time, our conversation evolved more from just the concept and the law of attraction. We began talking about what we were calling the science of deliberate creation, which is thinking deliberately. Thinking on purpose, not just thinking by default, not just letting your thoughts roam around, going to the loudest, squeakiest wheel, not watching what's on television because it's there, but choosing what you watch, choosing what you read, choosing who you play with, choosing what you think, choosing what you think, choosing what you give your attention to, establishing your momentum deliberately. And we offered lots and lots of processes to assist you in case you got your momentum going in a way you didn't mean to get it going. Because it's a sure thing that the thoughts you think will bring results. And the earlier in your awareness of an unwanted thought with potential unwanted consequence, the earlier you notice that, the easier it is for you to slow that thought or change that thought because the momentum is slighter. You wouldn't want to be at the base of that hill in San Francisco, having seen a car nudged from the top and decide that you will wait at the bottom to stop it. Not a good place to stop the momentum of a car. You want to do it before it really gets rolling. Do it early enough, you can just stand out in front of it. It'll just bump you a little bit. Just bump you a little bit. You'll hardly even notice it. But it won't move beyond you if you catch it early enough. And so that's what the science of deliberate creation was really about. It's really about you thinking on purpose. And then we went on to explain to you the power of your emotions. And that's when it really gets good, because when you begin to understand what your emotions are, that they are indicators that you can feel that are always with you. It's not like a contraption that you have to carry around. It's an indicator that is always with you, that lets you know in every moment the momentum of the thought that you have going in relationship with the momentum of the source energy thought. In other words, your source energy thought is that you are a really good person here with great reason, validated and important and worthy. And when you focus upon yourself in such a way that you say you're not enough, or that you should have been better, or that you've done something inappropriate, or that something is wrong with you, when you compare yourself against others and you come up short-handed in your evaluation of yourself, that feeling that you have in your stomach, that emotional feeling in your emotional center, is your indicator that you've started some momentum that is so contradictory to the momentum of the source that you can feel the contradiction within you. You can feel the split energy within you. You can feel the holding yourself back from your natural momentum. So some thoughts you think take you in a momentum direction. We like to call it the path of least resistance, because you give enough thought to something, you carve out a path to probable futures. Because law of attraction is responding to the thoughts you're thinking. And there is a momentum that says this thought with this momentum is going to bring this outcome. And you can tell by the way you feel if you're going to like the outcome when it comes out. You can tell by the way you feel whether you're going to like it or not. Now, often you are aligned and not aligned. You're thinking of wanted and unwanted. You're weighing the pros and the cons. You're thinking about who you are with love. You're thinking about who you are with disdain. You are appreciating someone. You are complaining about someone. In other words, most people are not very deliberate about the thoughts that they think, and therefore most people don't get a lot of momentum going toward wanted or unwanted. So most people are living sort of placid lives where there are many things they want that aren't coming, and there are some things that are coming that they don't want. But most of you are doing very well because the momentum of who you really are is so dominant. The well-being of who you really are is so dominant. You are pure positive energy here in these physical bodies with such reason, you see. And so then we began talking about how you might utilize your guidance system. You're always blessed, so we don't need to do it now. So then we began talking about your guidance system and how to recognize and utilize it in an effective way. We began to explain to you that when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And every time you launch a rocket of what you do want, even with that slightest little bit of momentum, the source energy part of you gives attention to that momentum, gives attention to the momentum of what you want. And the process of the source within you giving attention to the things that you're asking for, not the things you're pushing against, But the things you're asking for has created this momentum, this path of least resistance that has resulted in this conceptual, it's a reality, but you can't see it, vortex. It's a vibrational reality. It's a culmination of what you've been asking for, and it's vivid and real, and it's where the source within you is, and it's what the source within you focuses upon. So when you ask for more money is vibrationally gathered for you. You can tell by the way you feel whether you're a vibrational match to what you've gathered or whether you're pushing against. There are two ways you can feel. One is you can feel it through your emotions. The other is you can notice what's unfolding for you. Because what you think and how you feel and what manifests always matches. You are a wonderful group of humans on this planet today, leading edge like has never been before. And you're asking with stronger emphasis than ever before. And you've created a vortex, a vibrational reality that has the potential of manifesting in your experience in such wondrous ways, collectively and individually. But you have got to figure out a way to be a vibrational match to that part that you've been asking for, that source is in complete agreement and focused upon. Because it doesn't matter how much source focuses upon who you really are and all of the details of life that you have carved out. You are the creator of your own reality, which means you are the synthesizer of your vibration, which means you've got to find vibrational alignment with what you've been asking for before it can flow into your experience, before it can be realized by you in a way that you can see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it, and others can see it in your experience as well. And so we began talking after the vortex conversation. We began talking about the grid, your point of attraction. So you've launched these creations and source is with them, focused upon them, maintaining the vibrational integrity of them, keeping them alive, keeping them going, and keeping law of attraction responding to them so that your dreams are growing. And now you have to figure out how to be in the vibrational frequency of what you've been asking for, or it cannot be realized by you. So that's where we're at these days. All of these topics, the law of attraction and the science of deliberate creation and the astonishing power of your emotions and the magnificent vortex that has been gathered are all represented in full form in books out there on the counters, because each of those phases of the evolution of your understanding has been documented for you so that you can find your way through it if you want to. But today, what we want to talk with you about is your point of attraction, where you stand right here and now. What are you letting in? Because you've sifted and you've sorted and you've launched lots of rockets, and Source has seen and ridden those rockets and is retaining the vibrational integrity of them. All you've got to do, and we really mean that in that sense, all you've got to do is find somehow, some way to stop doing that thing that you do that keeps you from being a vibrational match to what's in your vortex. For a while, we were saying to you, just get in the vortex, get in the vortex. And of course, you can't get in there unless you're the same vibrational frequency, because the vortex just spits you out. It's happy. If you're not, off you go. It's abundant. If you're feeling lack, off you go. It's clarity. If you're confused, off you go. In other words, you've got to do something in order to meet what you've been asking for. You can't demand it. Your parents sort of trained you a little wrong. When you're demanding with your parents and they finally give in because they can't take it anymore, they do you a big disservice, because they show you something that the law of the universe will not show you. You've got to be of the frequency. You have to be a match to your desire. You cannot be a match to the absence of your desire and have your desire flow into your experience. You can complain all you want. You can picket all you want. You can demand all you want. You can make others feel guilty about the absence of wonderful things in your life all you want. But what's really going on is, without exception, well-being is flowing to you steadily and constantly. And you got to figure out how to let it in. And you can tell by the way you feel, whether you are or whether you're not.